On Netflix, there is a show that has recently come up called Adolescence,
Is she dead then?
Why would you ask her?
where it portrays how a 13-year-old boy stabs a girl to death.
I haven't done anything.
What have you done?
Why is it that violence and so much hatred, why has this come into our life so early, at an early stage of 13 and 14 years?
Look at me now!
For a 13-year-old boy, when a girl comes close to him and bodies react, for him, she's his. This is how it is spoken, even in the stories and movies, everywhere it's spoken like that, she's mine. So if for some reason, if it is snatched from him, he will go ballistic in his own way.
Sadhguru, there's a lot of violence going on in the world now. And even my daughter was doing a paper on bullying in schools. So I found myself wanting to be able to explain to her what the source of violence is, and I wasn't too good at it. So I was wondering if you could speak to that, and then what somebody like myself could do to assist in the schools to help.
See, if they do not train in school, how will they live in this world which is full of bullying anyway? The more powerful are always bullying the less powerful, whether it is in the form of nations, or in the form of communities, or in the form of individual human beings. Bullying is happening everywhere, all the time, isn't it? We have structured the world in such a way, if you don't learn to bully enough, at least in the society's eyes, you don't get anywhere. Either your bullying is crude, just on the strength of your muscle, or it is in subtle ways. But bullying is happening all over the place. I want you to understand, the world, the international situation is not any different from the street corner. Just the same way, isn't it? The strong lean on the weak in so many ways. It is still a caveman's world of survival of the fittest, conducted in a more cunning manner, not straightforward. So, the way the world runs right now is just by bullying. So you're producing leaders in the school. Those who bully well could become leaders tomorrow. Yes. So as a part of this, now we are in the process of starting a Isha Leadership Academy. Of course, it'll have a basic MBA program, but the more important vision for this is to develop leaders on all levels. A housewife, maybe we'll have a weekend management and leadership course for her. Because anybody who can impact 5-10 people is a leader. Maybe a local small-time vegetable vendor, he every day meets at least 50-100 people. So maybe we'll have a week-long management course for him and a leadership course for him. Because we have not produced the right kind of leaders. Bullies are considered leaders. Compassionate human beings, people with larger vision about humanity are not considered leaders, they're considered philosophers in this world. They are dismissed of as visionaries. This has to change. but that's not going to change overnight. That needs lots of work on humanity, on individual human beings. General statements, slogans on the street will not help. It needs pointed work on individual human being. There's not been enough infrastructure to do that kind of work. So this is another thing we're doing now. All this that we're building here is infrastructure for an inclusive consciousness, which has never been done in these parts of the world. And in the East it was done plenty in the past, but nothing in the last few hundred years. Because this infrastructure is completely missing in most parts of the world, that for a human being to become a full-fledged, blossomed human being, there is no infrastructure. There's lots of infrastructure for survival, a lot. So bullying is essentially, children are doing it because they perceive that's how the world works. Everybody is using whatever power they have to beat down somebody else. People are not using the power they have to uplift somebody. Even if they uplift somebody, there is a string attached that they can pull you down any time they want. Nobody wants you to be a hydrogen balloon, let you loose and say, rise. They have a string attached to it. For this, we need a powerful, non-sectarian spiritual process to liberate people like that, so that every human being can blossom in his own way. He need not be my way or your way. He can blossom in his own way as long as he's inclusive, as life is. Life is inclusive. Inclusiveness is not an ideology. Inclusiveness is not some kind of a philosophy. Inclusiveness is the way of life. The existence is happening out of its inclusiveness, not out of exclusiveness. Not a single atom can exist here exclusively, even to retain your form. And you being exclusive is ridiculous. But the whole world is, at least the commercial forces on the planet, constantly telling you, you are exclusive, isn't it? And once we breed this exclusiveness, bullying is natural. Bullying is not just because somebody is evil. Once exclusiveness is bred, bullying is natural. Inclusiveness is the only answer. Inclusiveness not in terms of I love you, you love me, just clearly seeing life that it's an inclusive process, experientially seeing it's all-inclusive, there is no other way to be.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. So I have a childhood friend. She grew up in a very uneasy family environment because her parents had a very strained relationship, due to which she grew up amongst constant fights, with lack of love. So across the years, I've seen her grow up as a person who's become very reserved. She does not believe in love. She doesn't believe in the power of relationships. So how can we sort of not let such toxic relationships impact us so negatively in life?
See, everybody is finding a certain excuse for their own miseries. So my parents were like this, so I am like this. Well, this is unfixable because we can't change your parents now, all right? Hello? Can we change them now? So you need to understand this, especially if you have gone through tough situations in life or horrible situations in life, let's say. Is it not important that you become wiser sooner than other people? Sooner than other people who've grown up in comfort, who do not know what it is to see those things? Is it not very important that you should become wiser? No, instead you choose that you also become miserable because they were miserable people. So let us understand this much. You have an intelligence to recognize that they are living badly. How come you don't have an intelligence to recognize you are living badly right now? And you don't even have the fundamental integrity to see if I am living badly, it is me who is making this. Because there may be situations and situations. For every one of us, there are situations. In fact, the more you try to do in the world, the more and more many ugly situations you will have to face, whether you like it or you don't like it, okay? Now, because you face ugly situations, will you also become ugly? Or you will use this as manure to blossom into a wonderful flower? This is a choice that you have. So everything that hurts us, everything that in some way is negative in a given situation, whether you will become wise or you will become wounded is your choice. Do not look for ideal situations because there is no such place. There is no such place. Wherever you go, there will be something happening that you think is negative. Whether it's negative or not, I don't want to make a judgment. But in a given place, you think there is negative. A whole lot of people who have applied to get into your institution like ISB, they are all thinking if I enter ISB, it is like heaven. But I'm sure there are many people in your institution who think this is the most horrible place, full of politics, full of nonsense, full of this. Aren't there such people? Hello? I'm sure they are there, you don't become one of them. Because in every place there are issues, all right? Where there are two people, there is an issue. How we conduct these issues depends on, are we in a state of conscious response to these issues or are we in some compulsive reaction to these issues? This determines how we conduct ourselves. So, whatever happened in your early age, this has become a syndrome all over the world because they've all read a little bit of Freud, little bit of Maslow, little bit of all this European psychiatric stuff. And everybody is a psychiatrist. Because my parents were like this, I am like this. Come on, huh? Where is your intelligence? If your parents were like this, you must take a vow, you will never ever be like that. Hello? Yes or no? If your parents lived so badly, if it is true, I don't even know whether they lived badly or not. This is her perception of it, all right? We do not know how they lived, but going by her words, assuming it is true, if they lived badly, is it not your business to see never ever you commit such mistakes as they're committing in their lives? Is this not what human intelligence capable of? Or human intelligence is like, they study rats and make all kinds of conclusions about human beings today. They're not very wrong because a lot of people are still living like rodents. A whole lot of experiments about human beings are on rodents. Be looking at the behavior of the rodents, people say, oh, human beings like this, like this. Is it not a sad story? Being the most evolved creature on this planet, I want you to understand, for you to come to this level of intelligence, it's taken millions of years of work, of evolution, to get you here, to the peak of evolution on this planet. So being the peak of evolution, are we displaying that we are the top of the world? Are we? No, we want to sit on somebody else's head and think top of the world. No, we are already top of the world as human beings, isn't it so? But look at the way we are behaving, all the time complaining about something or the other. Let us understand this. What the world throws at us is not necessarily your choice. But what you make out of it is entirely your choice. Yes? What you make out of it is entirely your choice. Your experience of life, this much you must come to every one of you young people, if you want your potential to open up in the world, one important thing that you must fix in your life is your experience of life, either peacefulness or agitation, either joy or misery, blissfulness or suffering, whatever it is, your experience is entirely made by you. Other people are doing what they want, their drama they're conducting. It is your reaction to that which is causing these experiences to you. Right now, if I abuse you, I won't, I'm just telling you, Mrudu. Suppose I abuse you, The abuse is in my mouth. It is not a bullet, it doesn't come and hit you, but it's your reaction which causes the suffering, isn't it? Suppose I abuse you nicely in Tamil language or Telugu or Kannada, this guy will understand that's a problem. But if I abuse you in a language that you don't understand, with a smile on my face, you will think I'm saying sweet things to you, isn't it? And you'll respond nicely to me. So I'm telling you, your experience of what is happening with you right now is 100% determined by you. Human experience happens from within, not from outside. Outside influences are there. How far we allow them to affect us, unless they're physical situations. You're in a war zone, somebody's shooting at you, that's a different matter, all right? That needs to be dealt with in a different way. Even there, a conscious response will give you better chance of survival than wild reactions. So, the privilege of being human being is this, that we have an intelligence to determine what should be our experience of life. Other creatures are in a natural, instinctive, compulsive reaction. We are supposed to be above that. But most human beings are trying to disprove this, and they are also in a compulsive state of reaction. And above all, parents. Well, they are living the way they know best, isn't it? If they knew any better, they would have done better. They're doing their best. Well, they gave birth to you, which is a phenomenal thing. Maybe not willingly, but they gave birth to you one way or the other, and they gave you enough food and education and nonsense, whatever you needed, and brought you up to this level. Now don't keep on looking at the rear view mirror forever. They brought you up, you've grown up into an adult, you survived, all right? Many children die early on, parents not being able to provide. A whole lot of millions of children die in the world because parents are not able to provide for the children that they give birth to. They brought you up, you've grown up, you are in the rear view mirror. Please, leave the rear view mirror and look ahead, because you can't fix your past. There is no way you can fix an yesterday, but you can create a tomorrow. Let's make that happen.
On Netflix, there is a show that has recently come up called Adolescence,
Is she dead then?
Why would you ask her?
where it portrays how a 13-year-old boy stabs a girl to death.
I haven't done anything.
What have you done?
Why is it that violence and so much hatred, why has this come into our life so early, at an early stage of 13 and 14 years?
Look at me now!
Because everything has come in early. Those who are your friends today can become your enemies tomorrow. Those who are lovers today can become haters tomorrow. Why? Because in the transaction, what you expected, you could not get. Hello? You're in a transaction, an intimate transaction, where you have an expectation. And if it's not fulfilled, lovers will become full of hate, friends will become enemies. Every day it's happening all over. Nobody is free from it. And that will magnify manifold when children below 15 years of age are involved in adult-like activity. Well, their bodies might have been reasonably matured, but you cannot say the same about their mind, the stability of their mind, the stability of their emotions, the maturity of how they should treat another person. These things don't happen overnight. This is something that you mature into, hello? So, when you're encouraging in the name of freedom, this is becoming a norm. Everywhere in the West it already is, becoming so even in the Indian urban societies that by the time 12, 13, you must have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. How far you go, maybe different for different people, but such emotions which are body-based, well, a child of that age may not process that emotion in a mature manner, cannot. It's not even fair to expect him to do that. Now he thinks, see, for a 13-year-old boy, when a girl comes close to him and bodies react, for him, she's his. This is how it is spoken, even in the stories and movies, everywhere it's spoken like that, she's mine. So if for some reason, if it is snatched from him, he will go ballistic in his own way. You're fortunate, much more is not happening for whatever reasons, there must be some wisdom in them. Otherwise, these emotions can drive people to such actions very easily. It's not something that people do not know. Everybody knows, every one of you at some point when you're disappointed in situations like that, want to destroy them kind of emotion might have come up in your minds. You didn't have the courage to do it. That boy doesn't have the control to stop it. So, we are encouraging things like this and also various other aspects. Above all, children are growing up without necessary parental attention. When I say 90% of what a human being is learnt behavior, it's very important. There is some source from which they learn maximum. That usually is a parent or a guru or someone like that. If you go to school, the teacher is with you for 45 minutes and the next teacher comes and the next teacher comes. Very rarely you get any kind of connect with another person who could be your guide. Very few teachers are also interested in taking such a thing up because they don't have the time, they have to go to the next class and the next class. The parents have no time because daytime they have to work, evening they have to party. Nobody has time for the child except open online sources. And what is there? Well, anything could be there. There could be something very educational, there could be something very, very damaging, all kinds of things. But the important thing is delivered by people who don't care a damn about you. You are not in touch with people in some way who hold you in some kind of love. See, when I say it's not about I love you, you love me, it's not about that, but it's about you being in love. You must understand, if I'm in love, there is space for you, and just anything. It is just not a prejudiced focus. If you're in love, anything that comes to you, it has space, not just you, all the creatures, the tree, the grasshopper, and just anybody, even inanimate things. When you are loving, you have a loving eye for everything that you see. Now, not even one connect like that for a growing up child, not even one connect where someone is looking at them lovingly and you, even if it's not said, you understand there's somebody here who loves you and cares for you. If that is missing in one's life, well, you shouldn't be surprised with the violence. You shouldn't be surprised at all, because even a pup, if you get, I'm seeing here, right here with me, two little pugs. When they came, I had some time, I was here at that time and, I spoke to them, they were with me, very well behaved, nice, playful, everything. Now for months I've been off, they've lost human contact. Now like they're wild creatures, you can't control them, they're just all over the place. Best thing is to put them away somewhere. because you don't have the time to talk to them. I'm talking to most of you all the time what to do. Now suddenly they become like that. But in a dog, 90% is not learned behavior. Only a small percentage is learned behavior. But still, even with that, you can see a stark difference. But with a human being, where 90% is learned behavior, if you leave them untended, unloved, then, well, you shouldn't be surprised at all with the results that you're bearing. And every 40 minutes, in India, I'm saying, which is still generally well tended to in terms of children, it may not be an unideal situation like how psychologists say this is how you must speak to your son. Said, hey, vada inge, tama, vada. But even if they're rough, the children know they're cared for. That is still strong in this country, but it will go away because the whole fabric of society is changing. In the West, that's happened much earlier, 2-3 generations ago. What's happening today in India has happened 2-3 generations ago there. So you see it in a more stark form out there. But it's beginning to happen here also. Every 40 minutes, one child below 18 years of age commits suicide in India. Every 40 minutes. Since you sat here, one. So, this is a reality with which we are living. So we must make up our minds. I know this is going to turn against me, troll army will get at me and everything. But as I've been continuously saying, a child is a 20-year project. If you are not ready for it, you don't need it. And a whole lot of people will pounce on me, even many political leaders are saying everybody should have more children and more children. The religious people are saying so, politicians are saying so, some of the social scientists are saying so, and all the market experts and industry people are saying so, because if there is no youthful population, what will we do with the industry tomorrow, all old people? All the best. All I'm saying is, if you were a tigress, I would say, please reproduce as many times as you can, because it's an endangered species. Human beings, are they endangered? Hello? We're nice, but we're just a bit too many. So, in 20th century, in the beginning of 20th century, we were 1.6 billion people. Today we are nearly 8.5 billion people. And still somebody feels you need more children to run the industry. Why do you need the industry if there are not enough people? Hello? If you reduce the population, you can reduce the industry also, isn't it? No, somebody's madness is there. Right now my company is worth $500 billion. If the population drops, it'll become $200 billion. This is madness to the core. Thinking of structuring human life based on economics is madness to the core. We run economics so that human beings can live comfortably. We don't run human beings to run the economics comfortable. Hello? So in this pursuit of making profit, in this pursuit of everybody should work, in this pursuit of all this, the next crop of human beings are getting a bad deal. They're not even attended to. So, they will do their own thing. Some of the things they do may shock you, may surprise you, may disgust you, but they will do it because you're leaving them untended. That's one important aspect. Another aspect is, we can put it this way, maybe let's say, in my father's generation of people, Maybe 70% of influence upon them were their parents. And another 20% school maybe, another 5–10% friends and outside social contact. This would be the approximate percentage. In my generation, I shouldn't talk about myself, but my generation I'm talking. I don't belong to any generation because people are inviting me to under 25 conferences, so I don't So, in my generation, maybe that percentage receded, 40–50% is parental influence, then books, cinema, this, that became another 20–30%. Teachers, their influence reduced a bit. Maybe it became 10% from 15–20%, like this. In the current generation, parental influence, I mean it may vary from parent to parent, but I'm saying on an average, parental influence may be 10–15%. Grandparents' influence almost zero. It's become like that, because many of them don't even ever see them. And school influence may be 10–15%. Largely it is social media and online influence. I'm talking about the urban children. It's not yet so in rural parts of the country and in the world, fortunately, but it'll change. That'll also change very soon. So largely the biggest influence is commercial forces who don't care a damn what happens to you. That's not a good care to be under. This has to change. I think Australia has taken a bold step. Below 16, I think, you cannot have a social media account or something like that. Is that correct? Below 16. But you want to be a social media influencer by the time you're 12. How do you do that? So, this is a serious flux, our inability to understand that technology is here to serve human well-being, not the other way around, has led to this. We are like little children, excited about every little thing that comes our way and make that the whole thing about life. Something came, Facebook came, you could no more see anybody's faces, it was all on the book. Then that goes down and something else comes up. Like this, every little thing, just an app comes up and the whole world gets captured by that. So, this is very childish. I believe in another 25, 30, 40 years' time, people will mature and not be excited about every technological step that happens. People will choose what to use, not to use. I hope that maturity arises. I think it will, because human intelligence is something you can trust at some point. But in 30, 40 years, how much damage happens, how many lives will be lost, that is a terrible prospect.